Rebel Gaming Club. Welcome, guys, to this special. This week we have Septum Sin from Septum Sin versus the World. As you guys know, he's a big collector of movies, and that's something I love, but I don't know a ton about. I know what I like. I collect at the thrift store, but this guy here is on a whole different level. So he's going to help me go through my pickups and answer a few questions I have about his philosophy on collecting. Are you ready, Septum?
Oh yeah.
So we're just going to get right down to it. Out at the thrift, so I pay about $1.75 a movie. Do you think that's a fair price for movies?
Oh yeah, that's good. Especially if you're going when you go to a thrift store, you can usually get some pretty good deals. So $1.75. Heck yeah, especially depending on the titles. Maybe not like Titanic, the VHS or something like that, but
No, hopefully we don't have any of that in here. I hope that's the first one we found was this kind of big box special edition of Gone with the Wind.
Whew.
Have you ever seen Gone with the Wind?
Oh yeah, that's a long haul of a movie.
I feel like it's one of those ones you're supposed to watch, and at 42 years old, I've missed it to this point, and I feel like I need to make up.
Oh yeah, beautiful movie, great acting. One of the people in there was the first African American to win an Oscar, believe it or not. The circumstances, we'll just say that you gotta adjust for time, but still, it's a historic thing. Beautiful film, great acting. Just gotta put your mind back into those times when watching it. That's the biggest thing.
Well, I'm excited to attempt to do that. And one that I mean, maybe you as a kid, I remember as a kid catching some of the reruns of this Pink Panther cartoon collection. Do you,
Oh yeah.
do you recall watching this at all?
Oh yeah, the theme song and everything. I didn't even realize that it wasn't originally based on that. I thought it was to sell insulation.
That's true. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't know the difference on that. So I paid nothing for this collection,
Oh wow.
but the problem is with this collection was it was missing one of the discs out of the six or whatever they're in here.
Hmm.
How do you feel about that? If you found a collection and it was missing a disc, would you still pay potentially $1.75, $5?
It depends on if I can find the disc. If I think I can track it down, I will go ahead and grab at it. Might even grab it just to see if I can find it. So, like if you find a loose game and you're looking for like the box and you want that complete version of it, it'll always stick in the back of my head though. That thing would be sitting on a shelf somewhere waiting to be complete.
Yeah, well that's how I figured. And even if I don't, I feel like the cartoon, if I get my fill enough where I'm like, I need that last disc, I'd probably just buy it again. Next up, we got this Astaire and Rogers collection. This has
Ooh.
the box set of a bunch of their movies, and so we know it's a lot of singing, a lot of dancing, and that pretty much sums it up. Um, I'm a sucker for these big box sets. I just love the way they look. I like the historical value to them.
Oh,
Do you
that's
have any in your
beautiful.
collection? Like
Oh
the bigger
yeah.
box?
I mean, I've got one that I'll show off for one of the later things that I know you've got that's got some cool stuff. But those, like that one there, they have that old artwork. Like I have one sitting in the collection over there about like an American in Paris. I love the old artwork on some of the posters, sort of like has almost a watercolor look to it. And you just don't get artwork like that from modern films. And I love how some of the more they had some releases in the mid 2000s where they went back and they did a lot of those old school artworks that they added to your disc. It was just amazing. You can still pick up a lot of those as you go around. I mean, I know a couple of them, like a funny thing happened on the way to the forum. Um, let's see, I think All About Eve. That was also a good one. Not All About Steve, but still beautiful artwork.
Yeah, that's how I saw it too. I was like, it was $5. I couldn't pass on it. It's just the historical value to it. Um, it's there. I have it now. Another one, the same deal, is this Miss Marple Agatha
Hmm.
Christie collection.
I'm envious of that one.
Well, once again, we're missing one of the movies out of the set, but I think I have a better chance of finding the one
Oh yeah.
missing movie than I do, say a box set of Pink Panther, just because while these are individual movies.
Hmm. I
uh,
mean, yeah, worst came to worst, you could always break it down and take the ones you had. I mean, that's the awesome thing about it.
yep, exactly. And another one in the same vein is this Thin Man collection,
Mm.
which is odd because this is like the second time I've found this in the last 2 months at a thrift store.
Wow.
Yeah.
My thrift stores do not cover a lot of movies. They have like maybe like that much. It's amazing because Jake and I will go out, we'll canvas once in a while. They just don't turn them in over here.
That's odd because ours, it's all over the place. And the best part of it is that for some weird reason, the box sets, people just pass it over. They don't care about those at all, which is wonderful for me because I scoop it all up. But the competition isn't that fierce for it as it is, video games.
Hmm. Oh,
Let's see what else we got over here in this pile. Um, that's my bush I just found for $2.
oh yeah, that's hilarious.
This was a series that I remember when it came out, but I never watched it, and I didn't even put it together that it was the guys from South Park that were doing
Hmm.
it.
Yeah, funny thing on that one. I actually followed this. They had an Al Gore series, and I saw the pilot to it. They did a pilot for both because it was such a close election back then. Some people probably don't remember that, but it was so close. No one knew who was going to win. So they were going to do a comedy series about the president, one way or the other, and it just so happened that's the one that got made. There was another one Comedy Central made later called Little Bush, which was, and I have That's My Bush as well. And neither one of them is too scathing on the president itself. That's My Bush is actually kind of mild. It paints him as kind of an idiot, but a nice idiot. This one, little bit more biting in their tone, but still not too terrible. So it was kind of fun. About the presidents, except they're all toddlers, and maybe some of us think that
Yeah, I
maybe they all
I
are.
remember I remember the seeing trailers for that as well, but never caught it. So that's a really cool piece for the collection. Now, for you collecting, when did you start collecting movies?
I was stranded in a place I had no family, no friends. There was crime every night. I mean, literally violent crime happening less than a block from my door most nights. So it was really dangerous to go out. I ended up just starting to collect, and online streaming wasn't like it is now back in that time. So I just started collecting movies because I didn't have anything else to do. I was more into gaming, but I had decided, it's kind of cool to have some movies. Some friends had introduced me to a few box sets when I was in college, and I was like, yeah, this will be cool. Then maybe this will be cool. And then it just kind of piled up as time went on.
Yeah, I mean the collection is it's inspiring. It's definitely you look at it and just the hours of entertainment, and
Hmm.
the good thing is you are covered with entertainment for the rest of your life.
Oh yeah, if I stopped now, I would probably still wouldn't get it all done. I mean, this is just a small amount right there.
Oh, it's incredible. Um, I just picked up this Michael Moore, this like
Hmm.
collector's edition, which has the Bowling for Columbine and the big one dual pack
Oh,
here.
that's awesome. They used to package those also as a single DVD where you could just like it was like in a DVD store like this and it had both of them together. I don't know what it was about the big one that they didn't want to package it on its own as much, though I do have it on its own. And also, I had to get the Criterion for Bowling for Columbine. I really think, as politically charged as he is, Bowling for Columbine is one of the few documentaries I think that anybody on any side of the aisle should be able to watch and not have any difficulty with.
Yeah, no, I'm realizing a lot of people aren't fans of his. I've loved him since I was 16 years old reading his book. So, um, here's an odd one from I believe the late 80s, early 90s called Nero Wolf. I had never heard of this. This is like a murder mystery kind of detective show that was on A&E. It only lasted 2 seasons, but people swear by it. And this is a pricey box set too. I guess it's long out of print.
Yeah, those A&E box sets.
Is that one of those things that A&E, their shows in general?
Well, they would tend to post them in small runs. Like, I've never heard of that one, but that's not saying anything. A&E did a ton, like a metric ton of mystery shows. So it is very possible that like any one of them could slide by.
Yeah, I mean the chance of me finding the first season probably aren't so good. So I'll probably end up just getting rid of that one, considering I could probably get like $70 or something for it.
Oh yeah, good turnover.
We found the Looney Tunes collection. We got the volume 1 and the volume 2. I don't know if you've collected any of these box sets.
Oh, I want to. There's a Bugs Bunny one coming out. I think it's like I can't. There's some milestone that's coming up, and it's a beautiful looking one. Sadly, the only ones I have, other than a few shorts scattered around the collection, is an academic award winning Warner Brothers short film set. I need to get on that. I am actually behind on that because they were part of my childhood. I know they were part of yours. They're part of a lot of people's growing up.
Yeah, it's pretty standard. And like I said, I feel like there's been other collections too, but that one seems to be the most precise to true to what it is. We found I like crappy movies too. Like I know you don't like your collection's pretty pure in the sense that it's good.
Oh, I love B movies, and I don't know what you talk about. There's
Well,
an Ed Wood set somewhere back here.
well, I know, but your B movies are like, I mean, we're just talking like, I'm talking like Sandlot 2. Like, is there a reason to own Sandlot 2?
Yeah, if you're like me and you have to own every movie in a series.
No, that's true. So I'm missing number 3. I didn't even realize it was a number 3 until I bought number 2 and then investigated.
Yeah, I didn't know that there was a Hills Have Eyes 3 out of the original, which I only thought that there were the 2 and then the 2 remakes, and I came across the third one when they released it as a limited, and that's just Revenge of the Nerds Part 4, Nerds in Love.
I do. Speaking of that, I found the Panty Raid edition of the Nerds.
Yes, that came out the same time as my collection, which is the Atomic Wedgie one, which is a little bit rare, and it has all 4 of them, which is kind of cool.
Yep, that would be the perfect one to have. Now, your approach to collecting movies, do you just get inspired by directors? Do you get by the genre? How do you do it when you're purchasing movies?
It depends on how good I'm doing financially at the moment. Usually, I just go to complete sets. I'm a big proponent of getting all the Oscar-winning films. So if I see one of those, I grab it. If I've got a series and there's another season to it, I try and grab that. Those are my priorities. But if I see something and I've got and I'm doing well financially and it looks cheap, and I just want to take there's one called let's see here, Oversexed Drug Suckers from Mars. There's a good example. I saw that, and I saw the cover. I don't have it with me right now, but and I just said, "Oh my, that's something right there. I gotta check this out." I love strange oddities, and I've gotten to really like indie projects and supporting indie film creators. ever since getting on with Inside Movies Galore, I've gotten to meet quite a few of them. Wonderful people. I really love helping to support them. There's one that I got introduced to and I've got a pre-order on called Psycho Ape is a good example. And it's about this guy. Basically, it's just a guy in a really terrible looking ape suit. And he goes and he stabs people to death with bananas. But it's it's just the kind of thing I just enjoy anything and everything it seems like. But if it catches my eye and I have the extra money, I'm good for it. If it's not, it's just got to be one of those like, is it going to go out of print soon? Do I need that priority?
Yeah, I hear that. Especially for those indie films and people that are making those movies that, those print runs are probably less than sometimes 500, 1,000 maybe,
Oh, yeah.
depending on distribution they get.
I mean, I think things like even this one here where you got that little bush set, I'm sure that there are a ton of them that are out there just floating, but I doubt that they're like super easily available. They might be. I mean, sometimes you never know. I mean, some things, like there was a series that I really like called Another, which is an anime series that's like Final Destination. I thought it was still in print. Somebody tells me the other day, it's like, dude, where did you get that? I don't know how you got that copy. It's like, I bought it when it came out.
I mean, if you're hip to it, it doesn't feel like it's, anything different than just buying something brand new. You ever heard of a movie called Wieners?
Never, but it looks cool.
Oh yeah, it looks absolutely awful, and I cannot wait to watch it. Like this is the kind of like anything shitty comedy is right up my alley. So that caught my eye right away. Picked up some TV series off of eBay this week, and I got these for $5 a piece, which I felt good about. And it was the first 2 seasons of Veronica Mars.
Jake would steal those from your collection. You better hide them.
Is he a big fan of this show?
Oh yeah, he likes anything where he can like he really is into the lead actress. He will go and just latch on to that.
I mean, my thought is I've been watching Supernatural lately, which is a fun show if you come off of like I've seen every Buffy episode, so now I just need a little bit more. So, but this seems to be in that kind of cult weirdness, teen high school. I'm all about it. What else we got over here? Just ordered this off eBay too for I think $20, and it was the Dolomite collection.
Ooh, have you seen that new one? That Eddie Murphy one?
Oh, definitely. That was the introduction. Before then, I knew Dolomite just through sound clips. I recognized the voice. I had no clue who it was. And then to actually put it together that it was all from Dolomite movies. That's
freaking awesome right there.
Well, heads up, $20. You can still find them, I do believe, on eBay. So there was just that big sale, right? And I believe you posted inside Movie Galore about the Criterion collection. They do twice a year, 50% off.
Oh yeah.
Did you end up buying any good purchases from that?
Oh, every year I got my Barnes and Noble membership, so I usually have to get at least one thing. This time was the Ingmar Bergman collection. That was about all I could afford. Yes, it was. Yeah. All right. November's coming.
Yep. Well, I popped on it since you guys shared that information. I had to pick up 12 Angry Men.
Oh heck yeah. That is an amazing film. Remember you're talking about box sets, right? I have one like that with that in it. 12 Angry Men, A Bridge Too Far, Judgment at Nuremberg, and Past the Glory in it. All with a lot of the amazing artwork. Upside down.
Is that Criterion?
It is not. It's a Universal Artists release, and it does have amazing special features. I've compared the Criterion, but it's not bad. 12 Angry Men is one I've always thought about upgrading from this. There's another one called 12. If you love 12 Angry Men, and it is an amazing film. If you haven't heard about this one, you should. because this is a Russian version of the same film, and it is spectacular.
I'll definitely have to look into that. And it was funny because I ordered this copy, but in the meantime, I found a normal copy out at the thrift. And then I found another copy.
Like that.
This is like the paperback. Like, I don't know where they sold these, but drugstores, I
It's
guess.
like a collector's edition nowadays, those little ones.
Yeah. So I'm excited because I try to watch 12 Angry Men once a year. I feel like that's one of the few films I will watch every year.
Oh, it's one of Jake's top films of all time.
Yeah, mine as well. Picked up Lord of the Flies.
Very excellent.
Yep.
That one and the remake.
I don't think I ever saw the remake. Was it, what year was that from?
80s, I believe, or early 90s. It's a little bit. It is twice as brutal though as that one.
Oh,
They watch the little kid that they use to magnify, like the glasses as magnifying glass. They literally show him getting his head smashed in with the rock, which is. And I watched it when I was young, so it didn't it didn't sit too well with me back then.
the last one I picked up was this Harlan County, USA, and I believe this is about the miners in West Virginia when there was all kinds of shit going on. I just saw the trailer briefly. I love documentaries so much, so this was a no-brainer.
I agree. Matewan is also another one Criterion released that is related to that. It used to be super hard to find, and Criterion brought it back into print. It is an amazing thing. Part of my family comes from that heritage. Matter of fact, my grandfather used to show me a lot of stuff. He was a big union rep where he was at, and a lot of his ancestors were on those places that helped them go from being mistreated where they were to where they were actually paid well and treated right. Because people are dying constantly over there. It's a brutal history.
Yeah, it is. And just watching the trailer, you see people with baseball bats, with weapons. It looked gnarly. If you were in the middle of that and trying to get involved, like, you were going to get smashed.
Oh, it was a war.
Mm-hmm. I guess I have a few more before we wrap up. Do you like collecting goals at this point? Where do you see yourself with this collection that you have? Are you gonna? Is there more of something that you need to feel complete?
I don't know. It's as I get older, I don't tend to overbuy like I used to. There was a time when certain things like anime, I used to be really into, like, I need to build a big anime. Well, I've got a big anime collection now. So now it's got to be something that I really like. I like to keep adding those Oscar winners, get a few gems here and there. Of course, there's the collecting's never done, but I've been thinning, doing what that Mary Kondo type thing where you see if it has value to you and slowly taking it down, finding things, making them into collections. Like this is really good. Another reason why I probably won't get the Criterion is because all these movies, I want these in the collection and they're very small. It's a great compact set. I'm able to do that. Some things like there's a Monty Python set coming out, and in the new release video that we released this past week, there's a Blu-ray set that's coming out that's like say this big.
Oh wow!
As opposed to the mega set, which I have, which is like that. That's a lot of room that you can save by doing that.
Yeah.
And you improve the visual fidelity. So I mean, you can't lose really at that point. You know how it is. There's limited shelf space, in this area. And I have a large room. I inherited this. I fought it. I fought a flood to get it back under control. Now, if I can get one more big shelf, I've got myself a good library.
So what happens when you run out of room to put stuff? Is there
That's
a
why
backup plan?
That's why I got to start saying to myself, well, do I really need these things? Like I say, I'll go through ever so often. I'll thin out a pile, sometimes maybe a pile as large as 100, 200 from my collection. I say, do I really like this? Am I going to watch this again? Is it something that I feel has value? Because there's some things I feel like are I don't really like, but I think is good to have in a collection, something important that I may not like it right now, but I might appreciate it later. But if it has no value, like I think I've gotten rid of Slam Dunk Ernest like 5 times from my collection, and somehow it always ends up coming back to me.
Is there no box set for Ernest where he just has all the movies?
Actually, I do have one back here, and darn it, I hate throwing it. There's one over here somewhere. That yep, there it is. Good example. Ernest Wacky Adventures. It doesn't have the main 4, but you know, Christmas, Goes to Camp, Goes to Jail, which I need to upgrade those because they usually have those in trilogy. But then there's Scared Stupid as well. Those are the 4 that you don't get on there. But every other Ernest movie, the commercials, everything else is located on these sets. So you're getting like Ernest Goes to School, to Africa, Slam Dunk Ernest, Hey Vern's My Family Album, and the Army Rides Again, and the 2 greatest hits that they have on here. That's a lot of Ernest content.
It's yeah, I mean it's more than enough, right?
I have I don't know. There's something about him. When I grew up, I really liked the character. He was cool. I watched the TV show.
Yep, same with me. I mean, watching the camp one to start it all off, just, you know, the imagination and just wanting to be at that camp.
You chase nostalgia when you get to a certain level, and this is that nostalgia right there.
Yeah, that's a great set. Every time I'm out thrifting, if I see anything Criterion, I grab it, even if I have no clue what it is. And this one's called I'm Curious.
Mm-hmm.
Zero clue. I know it's a foreign film, and that's all I know about it.
Jake would be more envious than I am. I don't mind them. I think they add value to the collection. But you know, I like to watch certain ones, and I've heard of it. I've seen it, and I've passed over it.
Yeah, and once again, it was $2. Even if I don't like it, I feel like I could probably find someone that would enjoy it.
Oh yeah, Criterion, you can get some money back on that bad boy.
Yep.
Or a good trade off of it too.
Yeah. Another collection. I got the Spike Lee joint collection for $1.75.
Yeah, I've had my eye on that one myself.
It's got Jungle Fever, Do the Right Thing, Mo Better Blues, Crooklyn, Clockers. So some really classic films right there.
A lot of those are getting Criterions now.
Oh, I bet that'll be interesting. I'm sure there's a lot to talk about. A documentary I just snagged up was Crumb.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen this one as well?
Right here.
Oh, so you got the good version of it.
I got it actually used for $1.50 myself. So I am there. We used to have some really awesome movie stores. A lot of them closed their doors, but one called Movie Stop, which is sort of like GameStop, but for movies. And they had some amazing sales on a lot of their stuff, so I could get stuff extremely cheap. I've gotten box sets there for $5 that have like 100 episodes of a program on it. It was a great thing. And this one, my father loved this document. He subjected me to this 5 to 6 times a week throughout my teenage lifetime. And I don't necessarily love it, but it's so ingrained in me, I had to go grab it.
It's something. I had seen it before, so I just rewatched it again after I bought it again. So it holds up. The family's more fucked up than I remember it being. So that it's worth a watch. That's for certain. Speaking of Monty Python, I found the other British Invasion collection documentary. Ooh. I guess this is all about before they were in the circus. I don't know much about it other than what I read on the back.
That's pretty cool. I've got the 2 shows that the groups were in beforehand, Do Not Adjust Your Sets and the 1942 show, something like that. It was a they were like you had some pretty big names in there. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. He used to act in the movies with like a Young Frankenstein, a Sherlock Holmes' Murder Brother. I can't think of his name. But he always was like he always sidekicked. He was an amazing actor. He had some great British comedians in that group.
Yeah. Any documentary, I pop on it. I don't. But, what else we
They
got?
got value.
Yeah, they really do. Um, Apocalypto, the Mel Gibson movie. I've never seen it. I've been waiting to find a copy. So, how bad is this? Have you seen it?
Whew, it's dark. Good movie. Very well done. Mel Gibson, I'd say a mad genius would be the best descriptor of Mel Gibson. And he may have some issues, but he is an amazingly talented director. And Apocalypto, whew, it is brutal, but it is amazing.
So, all right, I got a treat right there, I guess. Then, Hard Day's Night with the slip cover.
Well, I like that one. That is pretty. I have it too, but I have the this is the Criterion version. Yours might actually have a lot more on it than mine does.
Don't know about that. I would have my doubts, but I'll double check. You know what? I might even have a double of this, and if I do, I'll send it your way.
That's a beautiful movie. I liked there was one called Help that they did that I saw. I like that one better. It's just finding a good copy of it that's not like super expensive. But I always thought that their comedy was really good, and I compare that with the Monkees, which kind of copied that.
Yep. Partridge Family, all that stuff is always good watch. We got The Cheap Detective, starring Peter Falk, which pretty much he just plays
awesome.
Columbo. It's got to be all right. Neil Simon wrote it, so it's a winning combination.
Murder by Death, also excellent one with him in it. He plays Columbo, but an incompetent version of Columbo. A competent racist version.
You're a fan of Columbo, I take it?
Oh yeah, I watched it growing up. I mean, that's just like right there. I've got the whole set sitting there. Jake's actually going through the whole thing for the first time, and I was like, "You have a lot to go through."
Yeah, there was a time where I was so poor that we would just go to the library. This was like 15 years ago, and we just check out seasons of Columbo and like ingest them every single night.
Oh, library is an excellent place to go.
Truly was. I guess the last thing I'm going to show is this History Channel 10 Days That Unexpectedly Changed America.
Ooh.
Once again, I'm a sucker for these odd just releases where it's, I don't know why they made this, why they felt they had to release it. It's one thing to make it for the channel. It's another thing to release it on DVD.
Oh, History Channel stuff. That's a gem right there. You find anything from History Channel, any of these like ones that have that, like I've got a Man versus Food collection sitting there, and they don't put those out very much, which is a shame, really, because some of the shows are actually quite fun. It's just they just don't put out a lot of them. Sometimes they don't put out full seasons of it. So if you can find those, you grab them. They're worth something.
Yeah, that's my thought with collecting a lot of these. If I've never seen it before and it's in a set, I grab it no matter what, just because either I'm going to get some enjoyment out of it, or once again, we could, sell it off or pass it off to someone that's going to appreciate it. And I think that's just about it. The only thing I got really left is just some of these music, Lamb of God, Syd Barrett from Pink Floyd, and the live Norah Jones. I collect all music stuff, so this was a no-brainer. Every time I see stuff, even if I don't like the musician, I'll buy it just to kind of soak it in and see what's going on. Maybe I'll understand it better that way.
I collect for a few, but I have to have a love for the music or respect for, well, I respect most of the musicians, but I have to have a real love for the music to sit and watch it on. like I have a couple, well, Queen, I have almost a complete collection of almost everything that they've got on their DVD catalog, just because. And a lot of David Bowie stuff as well.
Yeah, it's wonderful stuff. All that live performance stuff, so good. Um, yeah, I guess for me it's a little different with the music background, just because
Yeah.
I'm always looking to be inspired, and a lot of the stuff I'll be like, I don't like it until I see it visually, and then sometimes it makes more sense, sometimes it doesn't. Worst case scenario, I'm out $1.75, so that's a win-win, I think.
Oh yeah, music's amazing. My father was an opera singer at one point in his life, and he had me appreciate a lot with music. So I always used to like to sit with an album. And I did that with Bop Star, matter of fact, as a matter of, it's been a long time since I sat down and did it. Just sit and listened, like about good 7 times through the album, listening to each part of the music as it's going through and just tearing it apart in my mind. It's a real pleasure if you can get into something like that to do it. The feeling is amazing. I just have a hard time tapping into it.
Yeah, to find that kind of time and just sit with a piece of art, because it's like anything else. It's amazing that I'm able to create something from scratch that didn't exist and then kind of share it with the world. And a lot of people don't give a shit, and that's okay. But anyone that does and gets it, I think that's a cool connection.
Even something like, say, this, that's art right there. And it's something that somebody like Slam Dunk Ernest, there are a lot of people who don't like it, but I know some people that do. What Movie One on his channel was talking about how much he actually likes Slam Dunk Ernest. And that's awesome, because music and movies, what's excellent about this, and I've said this before on the show, that Inside Movies Galore, when we talk, is that I can hate something here, but somebody else can love it. And that's just amazing. I love how art can do that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And just the fact that someone spent that time and that effort, and it takes a lot of work, and people that dismiss that right away, it always blows my mind how that works. But that's the pickup this week. This is what we got. So I'm really happy that you joined me for this, because, well, I like to talk movies, but my guys don't necessarily like to talk movies so much.
Awesome movies, great pickups. I am loving on half of those right there. So,
And the other half, you're like, eh.
Well, it's a lot of them I already have. So.
Yeah. So everyone out there that's watching this now, you can go to, I'll put the link in the description to go to Septum Sin versus the World, which is a wonderful, inspiring channel about collecting and loving, movies and good physical media.
If we got some video game related content, we're not trying to horn in on y'all's action or anything, but we're doing some Let's Plays recently. Like I picked up the Angry Video Game Nerd 1 and 2 Deluxe set that came out really cheap, only $14 new, and it supports trying to get it to a physical release. So I feel like it's an awesome thing to support. Plus, if you like the old school, like Nintendo games like Mega Man, Castlevania, Super Mario Brothers, it plays into all those. It's just an excellent game. With a little bit of raunchy humor to it.
No, nothing wrong. I've definitely seen a good amount of the gameplay, and once it hits that physical media, I'll definitely be all over it. But I think we're going to wrap it up now. So make sure to go check out Septum Sin, and I guess we will see you guys. We'll definitely have you back once I get some more DVDs built up in the collection here, so we can talk again. But thank you so much, and until next time.
Thanks for having us.